Winning.
Pick.
Weekly.
Smith for the win.
Raisi K.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to a place where the Jets haven't been in 13 years. The NFL playoffs. It is Super Wildcard weekend. We made it. I love the fact that there's a Monday night game to kind of wean us off of football here. Honestly, incredibly intriguing games this weekend. Not many amazing matchups, but phenomenal, intriguing games. Starting with the first one, and honestly, in my opinion, the best game of the entire weekend. But again, it's close. There's so many good games. Houston at home, +2.5 against the Cleveland Browns. Greg, we talked about it last week. The Cleveland Browns are my underdog AFC team. I definitely think they're going to play the Ravens. But the issue is, Greg, you know as much as anyone my love for the Houston Texans. From before this year, then they signed DeMeco Ryans, and they signed my favorite Ohio State quarterback to ever play in CJ Stroud. I mean, I was so in on Houston, man. I was so in. They have some flaws, though, right? And I think they're just running into the wrong team. Literally, if they played any other team here, I would take them. Literally. If they played Miami, Kansas City, Buffalo, I would take them. But unfortunately, they're playing the Cleveland Browns, who rested Flacco. Top defense in the NFL playoffs right now. It's Cleveland Browns. Defense wins playoff games. They're going to protect the ball. They run it. Dude, imagine, Greg. Imagine they had Chubb. Imagine. Oh, anyway, I'm going to roll with Houston -2. I'm going to roll with Cleveland -2.
Cleveland -2. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I like Cleveland here as well. You know, we talked about it last week. Cleveland, the future. Put that in. I like that. 64% of the bets right now. 70% of the money right now for Cleveland. That concerns me a little bit. Seems like everyone's on Cleveland. Joe Flacco, 5-0 all time in wildcard weekend games. Never lost. So going up against a young team, Houston team.
Never lost.
Yeah, never lost. So I like Cleveland here. I'm with you on that.
All right. That's a nice way to start off our Saturday. Now we go to Saturday night, where it's going to be -30 degrees real feel in Kansas City at night. National Weather Service telling people to stay inside, yet we're having a 3-hour game outside. I love it. Honestly, as a fanatic, as an NFL football fanatic, I absolutely love it. I'm happy that the Jets aren't in this game, which they probably would have been if we were actually decent this year, and I would have been there like an idiot. So selfishly, glad it's not the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And selfishly, glad it's Miami, because Miami, Greg, might lose this game by 30 points. If Kansas City could score 30 in the cold, Kansas City sucks. And I'm so ready to fade Kansas City, but I'm way more ready to fade Miami, if that makes any sense. All right. I'm taking KC here. This is easy. And Greg, I'm sprinkling on the unders for some of these games. I'm telling you right now, all these cold games, I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under for KC. I'm taking the under for Buffalo. I'm kind of thinking about taking the under for Cleveland.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm with you. 55% of the money on Miami on the road in the cold. I'm not really sure why. Kansas City, I'm locking that in. They're my best bet this week. I think, to your point, I think Kansas City can just control the line of scrimmage, control this team. Miami's banged up. Miami's banged up on both sides of the ball. Everyone's hurt. I get it's Tyreek Hill revenge game, even though Tyreek Hill, I think, has played KC before. I just don't think it's been in Arrowhead. I just don't. I think he's hurt. Jalen Waddle's hurt. Multiple defenders hurt.
Wasn't he hurt for the Germany game?
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, I think he was hurt.
Either way, I just don't see this Miami team. Raheem Mostert hurt out last week, or 2 weeks ago, last 2 weeks. So, you're gonna have to run the ball here, and they're just banged up everywhere. Kansas City,
Minus
on the other
30.
hand, I think they've looked a little bit better. I think they've looked a little bit more improved. I think Patrick Mahomes gets it done at least in this round. I don't know if he's gonna make a run to the Super Bowl, but we'll see. Kansas City, my best bet of the week, -4.5.
Good bet. That's a good best bet because they look gross. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, oh yeah, Kansas City. Oh, I can't believe it's only this -4.5. Like it's technically crazy that they're -4.5 versus Miami. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I that's a great bet. All right, this is my hold your nose bet of the week. We're on to Sunday. You had your Saturday fill. We get another cold game here, Greg. And not only is it cold in Buffalo on Sunday at 1 o'clock, it's going to be like 40-mile-an-hour winds on top of the snow. That's a tough one. Listen, dude, Josh Allen is dumb enough to throw in 40-mile-per-hour winds. McDermott is dumb enough to throw in 40-mile-per-hour winds. You know who's not dumb enough to do that? Mike Tomlin. You know who's not dumb enough to do that? Rudolph. They are going to run the ball 150 times. I love the under in this game, and I love the hold your nose and take Mason Rudolph on the road in Buffalo +9.5. That's a great number, dude. They're begging you to take Buffalo. Oh, look, it's right under the 10 number, dude. Don't worry, 9.5. Like, you got this. Like, Buffalo's going to easily win. Like, TJ Watt is hurt. It's freezing. It's 40-mile-an-hour per wind. Like, no one's doing anything. 9.5 is a nice number. It's going to be 6-3 at halftime. Like, this is a nice number. And I don't even know 6-3 because that means 3 field goals in 40-mile-per-hour winds. I don't even know that's going to work out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how points are going to be scored. It's going to have to be a lot of can't tackle me on the run. And that, Greg, makes me want to take Pittsburgh money line because Jalen Warren and Najee Harris are the entire offense. And that's all they do is they check it down and run it.
Yeah, and that's what concerns me a little bit about this game. I like Pittsburgh here. 61% of the money right now on Pittsburgh. I'm not really sure why. 6 out of every 10 people are betting on Pittsburgh. I like Buffalo here. -10 at home. To your point, like Najee Harris and Jalen Warren are good. I think James Cook might be the best running back on the field if it's not Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen's going to run the ball. James Cook's going to run the ball. Like I think that to your point, if it's going to be a rushing forward game, I would much rather have Josh Allen and James Cook than Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. We've talked all season about how Najee Harris stinks. I get that the last couple of weeks he's looked okay, and
Yeah,
he's
been back.
But I think it's a little bit of fool's gold. Like I'd much rather have Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen can run the ball better, just as good as any of these guys. So
yes, but usually there's a threat of throwing. There's no threat of throwing in 40-mile-per-hour winds. So
I don't know.
just
To your
don't
point,
know.
like to your point, I think like Josh Allen just might be crazy enough to do it.
Do
To
it.
your point, I don't
Do
think
it.
Pittsburgh's crazy enough to do it, and that's what makes me a little concerned. They get very one-dimensional, and then it's like, okay,
I'm
we know they're just
Pittsburgh.
handing it off. Let's load it up every time.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm literally holding a sign on the sideline. Please throw it. Like I
Yeah.
will do anything for you to throw this ball.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe Davis is a little banged up for Buffalo. Stephon Diggs has completely vanished in the last 10 weeks. So, who are you throwing it to? Dawson Knox. I think he got a touchdown last
Oh
week.
yeah,
That's cool.
I love the tight ends this game. I'm taking the overs on all the tight end stats, all the running back receiving stats on both teams. That's
Yeah.
like I'm hitting all those overs, like receptions, over yards. That's all the running backs and tight ends in this game. I'm loving it. Same thing with Miami KC. Like it's not Kelsey's always a little inflated. Honestly, no, this might be a nice Noah Brown game.
Yeah.
Might be a nice Noah Brown game for KC. Linebackers hurt for Miami. I can't believe Chubb is hurt now. All right.
I like it.
You going Buffalo or Pittsburgh?
Buffalo.
Buffalo. All right.
Big time.
That was the first game we disagreed on.
Uh-oh.
All right.
That's not
Green Bay versus Dallas. Greg, I'm ready to jump on the Dallas train. I told you off air. I'll tell you again. From the Dallas perspective, this is lining up like Dallas wins at home versus Green Bay, crushes them. Dallas wins again next week at home, crushes whoever they play. It might be Tampa Bay. We'll get to it in a second. They're going to crush them at home. They're going to be Green Bay and Tampa Bay at home. And all of a sudden, they're going to find themselves in the NFC Championship game. And everyone's going to be talking Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. And the other side, they're going to be staring at San Francisco. And they're going to lose by 50. That's how I see this NFC going. I love Dallas -7. The Green Bay sucks. Jair Alexander's, he's hurt again now. Even though last week was suspension, now he's hurt. They're a mess, dude. Green Bay is an absolute mess. They had one good game last week. They're happy they're in the playoffs. This team is ecstatic. They got rid of Aaron Rodgers. They had the Jets draft pick. Like, they're killing it right now. Jordan Love is real. They made the playoffs. They're gonna lose to Dallas at home. No problem. Like, no problem, dude. This is a fine game. 7 is a nice number. I think it might be like 5, but I'll take Dallas.
60% of the public bets, 85% of the money is right now in Green Bay. I'm with you on Dallas. I'll ride with Dallas. I just think that Green Bay is live in this game. This is the game that scares me the most. 7 points is a lot in the playoffs. And, you look at the higher spread games, Pittsburgh I think you would need a miracle. You need 40-mile-an-hour winds and freezing cold temperatures for there to be a shot at them winning the game, which they just happened to be getting on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Green Bay and Dallas are playing inside a dome, inside perfect conditions. 7 points is a lot of points. Jordan Love has been good. This wide receiving core is being good. Aaron Jones loves playing in Dallas. Aaron Jones has been great the last 3 weeks of the season, last 2 weeks of the season. I think he's tied for the most or has the most rushing yards, receiving yards, total purpose yards. Like, they've been good. Dylan's been good. Like, I think Green Bay's been pretty live. So I'm going Dallas here with you just because Dallas is immaculate at home. They've been incredible this season at home. CeeDee Lamb is the best receiver in the league, I think, this year. Tony Pollard, will he get a rushing touchdown? God only knows. I just think Green Bay's a little bit more alive in this one than you think. I think it's going to be close.
I mean, you're totally right that they're more alive than I think, because I think they're dead. I think they're dead man walking. So I agree with your assessment there. I cannot believe the public is on Green Bay. I want to make this my best bet because it's the second highest spread and all the public's on Green Bay. This is the easiest game for me. This game is going to be a blowout. Honestly, as we're talking right now, I am trying as fast as I can to get to Green Bay, Dallas, defensive prop bets. Here we are. Oh, okay. Thank God. Thank God. Micah Parsons sack is -200 because that was about to be the easiest bet I've ever made in my life if that was plus money. DeMarcus Lawrence just needs a half a sack, and that's +230. That might be some good value.
It's not bad.
I think Dallas is going to kill them, man. I want to make them my best bet. Man. All right, I think I might. All right. Detroit at home, -3 against the LA Rams. Everybody talking about this is the Matt Stafford game. This is also just as much a Jared Goff game. I mean,
very much so.
Like, I don't know what else to say. Detroit at home in the dome. They're hyped about that. Rams have been a machine. Kyron Williams is the most underrated overall NFL player. Definitely the most underrated running back, in my opinion. He's a beast, dude. He's the best blocking running back in the league. I don't even think that's a question. And he's one of the top producing fantasy, carries, targets, receptions, yards in the league. I don't understand why nobody talks about him. And they also have Matt Stafford, who loves to sling it. And they have the #1 rookie wide receiver to ever play football. And they got Cooper Kupp, just hanging out, and Tutu Atwell, and Demarcus Robinson, who's a real player now, who I just heard of 3 weeks ago, right? I understand why everybody loves the Rams here, but I have to just stick with Detroit. I have to stick with Detroit, -3 at home against the public. But, dude, it is so tough for me not to take the Rams. Like, I want to take the Rams. I really want to.
I know. I want to take the Rams just because you and I are lining up on every pick, and that usually spells trouble.
I'll take the Rams.
93%. No. 93% of the money on the Rams, though. 93.
I can't.
I can't do that. Detroit at home -3. I'm locking it in.
You know what, Greg? I'm gonna go with the Stafford game. I'm just gonna go with the Stafford. I know this is a Jared Goff game. I know they're beasts at home, but I wonder if it's gonna be too much for them. Like Sean McVay in the playoffs, like he did go to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So like this is when coaching comes into play, and I feel like this is when we start making fun of each other for forgetting about the coaching. You know what I mean? Like the first game is Stefanski versus DeMeco Ryans, both candidates for coach of the year. Tough one. You know what I mean? McDaniels
What
and Andy.
seed are the Rams are the 16. Rams are the 16.
Yeah, it's at home in Detroit. Kansas City, Miami, injuries, cold weather. McDermott, Tomlin. I'm going with Tomlin for that reason. Like at the end of the day, it comes down to who I think is stupider. Right? I think it's Buffalo. That means I'm going coaching here. Dallas, Green Bay. Dallas is just superior. I'm gonna go with McVay. I think Dallas is just superior to Green Bay at home. I don't think it's
You're not talking coaching. You're talking team.
No, team, just a team. Yeah, the coaching I even think about. Just the team is like so superior that's not even worth thinking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now the Rams and Detroit, the teams are similar. So then I go to coaching.
Gotcha.
I'm going to McVay. I'm just going with McVay. It's stupid. Like
not that crazy.
Get against the public, but I'm gonna go with McVay. Everyone loves Detroit, but the public, like the numbers don't. I thought everyone was gonna love Detroit. That's the only thing that's bothering me. I was really hoping that the public was Detroit. I was gonna be a public guy here, just ride with Detroit, but I'll ride with the Rams, man. Greg, honestly, man, so many people talking about how this is the Stafford revenge game, and nobody cares that it's the same idea with Goff. He got drafted and then he got traded. Like, what's the difference? Because he had more yards.
I think Matt Stafford just had a better, longer career in Detroit, where it clearly wasn't him being the issue that stifled their success, and then he went and won a ring.
But then the opposite of that is once they traded Goff, they got Stafford, and all of a sudden it's time to win. So they're saying it was Goff's fault.
Right.
So that's why I think it's more of a revenge game for Goff.
I think so too.
Yeah, like if I'm Goff, I'm like, dude, I care about this game way more than anyone else. I don't care what anyone says.
This is his one and only chance to shut the narrative down that it's his fault.
Yeah, and then he's better than Stafford. I mean, this is like the best game ever for him. So that's why I like Detroit, but I'm gonna take the Rams here on the show. Last game, Monday night. Okay. To keep it real, it is crazy that this is a pick'em game. Like this is
-3.
It's -3. Oh, -3. Oh my God, because Philly's on the road.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I in my head, Philly was at home, -3, calling this a pick'em. All right, Philly's on the road, -3 at Tampa, and the public is on Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And Philly doesn't have a quarterback.
Philly doesn't have anything.
Philly doesn't have a head coach.
Wide receiver.
Philly doesn't have a wide receiver. One or two.
Swift is gone. I don't know where he's been. He was running for 200 yards a game to start the season.
RB1 is gone. On the other hand, you got Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Kate Otten. They've been solid. White. Pretty solid. Todd Bowles, though? Damn.
I was waiting for you to make a pick because I was just going to say, are you really going to bet money on Todd Bowles in the playoffs?
I don't think I am. I don't think I honestly am. I think this is going to be a prop bet game for sure. I don't know. I honestly, Todd Bowles is.
Dude, if I'm up money, I like Tampa Bay. I don't hate Tampa Bay as much with you. I think that they have the
Todd
better.
Bowles? This is what you're going to look on the sideline.
Yeah. Because, dude, Philadelphia is doing the thing that I screamed about all last season. I don't know if you remember me talking about it week in and week out. They forget to run the football. Yeah. They've completely forgotten the last 3 weeks that they could just run the football and stop worrying about A.J. Brown this and, let's get Julio Jones 2 touchdowns and Devonta Smith and this and that. Like,
my boy,
just run the football. Like, Swift is good. Their running backs are good. Scott's good. Like, they have running backs. Just run the football. They just forget that sometimes, and they just make up all these crazy plays, and then Jalen Hurts breaks his finger, dislocates his finger, whatever happened to him. It's crazy, dude. Philadelphia is an absolute shambles. I've never seen a team collapse as hard as they've collapsed, and I'm a Jets, Knicks, and Mets fan. Like, they are in full-blown literally 4 weeks ago they were 10-1. Now they're like, we're gonna fire a coach who went to the Super Bowl last year and had 10 wins in 11 weeks this season, and their only loss was the Jets. Like that was the canary in the coal mine. Like that's like never been a better use of that term. I don't know what
that was perfect.
That was the canary in the coal mine. When you lose week 6 to the Jets, and you're talking about you're beating your chest as the best team in the NFC, best team in the league, undefeated. That should have sent shockwaves across Philadelphia. And the fact that they didn't pick up on it.
That Will Smith last episode meme was hitting hard for like 15 weeks.
Yeah. Dude, 60% of the bets, 64% of the money on Philadelphia. I don't see it. They are in full collapse mode. They are in full panic mode. They have absolutely nothing going on. All their coaches are getting fired. All their players are getting traded. Everyone hates everyone. Tampa Bay at home, plus points in the playoffs. Bully football, real football. Dude, Baker Mayfield is playing just as good as Jalen Hurts, if not better, throwing the ball the last few weeks. Mike Evans is a better receiver than A.J. Brown. Rashard White is a better running back than Swift. Like, they just have a better team. And no one's talking about it, and that's okay. That's how I like it. Tampa Bay plus 3 at home.
It's a smart pick. Just, you think Jalen Hurts is like saying too much? That's maybe my conspiracy brain. Like, since when is Jalen Hurts coming out on Thursday being like, yeah, I haven't thrown a ball in 2 weeks. Ha ha ha. Like, that's just not what he does ever. He usually just goes up to the podium, just being like, hey, we're good. Don't worry. We're going to figure it out.
They're in full panic mode. He's working on his opening set now in front of a microphone. He's trying to make jokes. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I like Tampa too, dude. Yeah. Is this the easiest wild card weekend ever? Which makes me feel like, tell me why.
No, it's never as easy as you think. Like last week, I looked at her stats from last season before I rolled this sheet over. They weren't good in wild card weekend last year. I just never think it's as easy as it thinks. It makes me nervous that we're on the same page on so many picks. It makes me nervous that we both think Casey's going to be so easy. It's just never that easy, man. It's gambling in the NFL. It's the hardest thing to do. If you're sitting at 55%, 56%, you're making money, you're doing well. It's just not that easy. Crazy stuff is going to happen, and that's what's awesome.
But like Tampa beating Philly is crazy. They're plus 3 at home.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what I mean?
Crazy stuff is going to happen.
I mean, I'm saying, but like that is a crazy scenario. The public is on Philly. They're favorites on the road, and that's a crazy upset on a Monday night to end the weekend. You know what I mean? Like honestly, Detroit beating the Rams at home, even though they're favorites, is crazy, right? Like no matter how that game ends, that's crazy. No matter how Houston-Cleveland ends, that's crazy. And no matter how Pittsburgh-Buffalo ends, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if Buffalo wins by 20, if KC wins by 20, if Dallas wins by 20, that's all not crazy. Other than that, it's all gonna be nuts, man. It's tough, man. These games are gonna be tough. Speaking of stuff, before we get to, I don't know if we're doing Hail Marys here. Okay. My Hail Mary is just gonna be my full card. I wanted to go over some season-long stats.
If I'm right. Is that the what if I'm right on everything bet?
Yeah. Plus 4,600 right now. All the picks that we just gave out, all 6 picks. Cleveland, KC, Buffalo, Dallas, Detroit, Tampa Bay, all against the spread. Plus 4,600 right now on FanDuel. John, you finished the season 125 and 144, 47%. So we picked 169, 170 games.
We're so
I finished the season. You finished with 125, right? I finished with 126, right?
That's actually funny.
The auditors were getting involved. Some independent people come in and review the stats and review everything. How crazy is that we picked every single game all season long? We finished off one pick.
And yeah, we have a lot of similar ones, but a lot of differing opinions.
Yeah.
From game to game. Like if you go back and look at our sheet, a lot of Christmas. Because we do red for losses, green, and usually on the same line. It's never like together. Like when we go back and review it, I wish they're more on the same line to make it easier. Yes. But it just wasn't. Like week 15 was the only one, but we were both 4 and 12. Of course, they overlap. But other than that, like it's been like mostly just tough.
Yeah,
like the
Pretty fun
winners,
season.
like the winners on our 4-12, we only had one similar winner.
Yeah.
So even though, you know what I mean, like it was everything else was random. So yeah, it is very interesting how that worked out. Honestly, man, my Hail Mary again is Cleveland to win the AFC and Dallas
Yep.
to get to the NFC Championship, but I can't bet that. Right? It's just not a real bet. So all right, I'll just man up and do it. Well, go ahead.
Real quick while you look that up or while you work on that, I was gonna do just preseason stuff. I have my picks in here. Jets and Ravens to win the AFC, not bad. Seattle and the Giants to win the NFC conference, not great. To be the 1 seed, I had the Eagles and San Francisco. San Francisco 1 seed plus 400. I like that. JJ Watt to lead the league in tackle or sacks. That was great. A lot of my passing stats, not very good. Trevor Lawrence did not have a good year like I was hoping for. Just looking back on some of the stuff, I had the Giants, I had the Steelers, I had the Saints. They all stunk, so it killed a lot of my parlays, to make the playoff parlays, a lot of my stuff. Overall, wasn't the best year gambling. I had a lot of fun doing it, but really the Saints, the Giants, and the Steelers absolutely killed me this year.
Yeah. The Jets, killed me the most.
And the Jets, yeah, I had close to probably $2,000 on the futures with the Jets.
Like Jets playoff. Jets not making the playoffs was a tough bet.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking at most playoff receiving yards, and this is interesting, right? Because it has a lot to do with whether your team makes it or not, not necessarily how well you do. Deebo Samuel's plus 1,600. It's pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
We have the leading rookie wide receiver in yards at plus 2,500 in Puka Nacua, which they have to win games, which is tough. But if he does, it's going to be because of Puka. Like guaranteed.
What's Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper's plus 2,000.
I don't hate that. Well. Deebo worries me a little bit because he's sitting out this week, so he's already starting 100 to 150 yards behind everyone.
Good point. Maybe that's why they're under. That's a good point. I didn't think about that, actually.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb, I like that.
CeeDee Lamb's a favorite. He's plus 200.
Yeah.
Because that's what I really wanted, to be honest with you. Because that's me taking Dallas to make the NFC Championship without me taking Dallas to make the NFC Championship. Yeah. All right. How about this?
St. Brown? What's St. Brown?
He's the second favorite, plus 850.
That's a pretty big difference between CD and St. Brown.
Yeah. We have most rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen at plus 900. It's pretty interesting.
That is.
Kyron Williams plus 1,200. Jerome Ford plus 1,600 and Gus Edwards plus 1,800 were interesting. Lamar Jackson plus 2,000. Another interesting one, too. Just
Aaron Jones, is he on there?
Shout out Aaron Jones. He's plus 4,000. Yeah. That's a good number for him.
That's what I was going to guess. Okay.
But you can't parlay them.
Yeah.
If you were wondering. All right. We're going to go with my Hail Mary. It's a tough one. I'm not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh to win straight up. Rams to win straight up. Bucks to win straight up. Dallas to win. I'm going to pick all the games.
Mm-hmm. Just money line for all of them?
Yeah. Those four. Plus 35. Yeah. I'll take Cleveland.
Perfect.
I'll take Cleveland. Plus 6,000. Steelers, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys, Browns.
Perfect.
Done. All right. That's it. No teaser. Teaser, you'll see you next week. All right. That's it for the YouTube. That's it for the audio. Thanks for listening. Winning Picks Weekly. See you next week. Hit us up on YouTube. Knicks, Jets, etc. Hit us up on the X. Winning P Weekly. Greg, any last words?
No, see you guys next week.
Caleb Williams. If you ever see that, take the first pick in the draft, you take it. If you see Drake May, second pick of the draft, you take it. If you see Marvin Harrison, third pick of the draft, you think about it. You might hedge. You might hedge with Jaden Daniels. But I wouldn't go lower than Marvin Harrison at fourth or Jaden Daniels at fourth, depending on Arizona and New England. See you next week. Yeah.